covered with sin, yet speeding to thy judge's dread tribunal. Lost here, yet hurrying on, each moment bearing thee on eagle's wings to the place where thou shalt be lost eternally. How hard it is to bring ourselves to know ourselves. In other matters, if a man be a little sick, he seeks his doctor, and would know his position, but here a man says, Peace, peace, let well alone. If we fear that our personal estates are at all in jeopardy, we have anxious nights and toilsome days, but, oh, our souls are poor, poor souls. We play with them as if they were worthless counters, or bits of platter, which a child might pick up in the streets and cast away. Sinner! 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 Is thy soul so poor a bauble that thou canst afford to lose it? Because thou wilt not break thy sleep and stay thy pleasurable dreams. Oh, if a brother's heart can move thy heart, and if a brother's voice can wake thy sleeping eyes, I would say, What aileth thee, O sleeper? Arise, and call upon thy God. Awake! Why sleepest thou? Awake to answer the question, Where art thou? Lost, ruined, and undone. O sinner, where art thou? Secondly, the question was meant to convince of sin, and so to lead to a confession. Had Adam's heart been in a right state, he would have made a full confession of his sinfulness. Where art thou? Let us hear the voice of God saying that to us. If today we are out of God and out of Christ. Where art thou, Adam? I made thee in mine own image. I made thee a little lower than the angels. I made thee to have dominion over the works of my hands. I put all things under thy feet, the fowl of the air, and the fish of the sea, and whatsoever passeth through the depths of the sea. I gave this whole garden of delights to be thy home. I honored thee with my presence. I thought of thy welfare, and forestalled all thy desires. The moon did not hurt thee by night, the sun did not smite thee by day. I tempered the winds for thee, I clothed the trees with fruit for thy nourishment. I made all things minister to thy happiness. Where art thou? I asked of thee but that little thing, that thou wouldest not touch one tree which I have reserved for myself. Where art thou? Art thou in the room of a thief, a rebel, a traitor? Hast thou sinned? O Adam, where art thou? And now, sinner, hear me. Where art thou? To many of you the Lord might say, I gave you a godly mother who wept over you in your childhood. I gave you a holy father who longed for your conversion. I gave you the gifts of providence you never wanted for a meal. I clothed your back. I put you in a comfortable position in life. I raised you up from a bed of sickness. I overlooked 10,000 follies. My mercies like a river have flown to you. When you opened your eyes in the morning, it was to look upon my goodness. Until the last moment of the night I was your helper, and drew the curtains about your defenseless head. I have covered thee with my feathers, under my wings hast thou trusted, and now where art thou? Hast thou not forgotten my commandments, abhorred my person, broken my laws, rejected my Son? Art thou not at this day a disbeliever, content to trust to thine own works, but not to take the finished righteousness of my beloved Son, the Savior of the world? What hast thou done for him who has done so much for thee? What art thou? Hast thou not been a cumber ground, a tree that sucks the soil, but bears no fruit, that drinks in the genial rain of heaven, but yields no grateful fruit? Where art thou? Art thou not today in the camp of my enemy? Art thou not on Satan's side, defying me, and lifting up the puny arm of thy rebellion against the Lord that made thee, and that keepeth the breath in thy nostrils, in whose hand thy life is, and whose are all thy ways? Sinner, wherein thou? After all God's goodness, still a sinner. Read the question again thus, Where art thou? The serpent said thou shouldst be a god. Thou thoughtest to be made exceeding glorious. Is it so, Adam? Is it so? Where is thy boasted knowledge? Where the honors? Where the vast attainments that rebellion would bring to thee? Instead of the clothing of angels, thou art naked instead of glory. thou hast shame instead of preferment, thou hast disgrace. Adam, where art thou? And sinner, where art thou? Sin said to thee, I will give thee pleasure, thou hast had it. But what of the pain which followed the pleasure? Sin gave thee its cup full of mixed wine, but what of the red eyes and of the woe? Sin said to thee, I will make thee great, but what has it done for thee? Drunkard, what has it done for thee? Given you rags and poverty. Adulterer, fornicator, what has it done for thee? Filled thy flesh with leprosy, and thy soul with agony. Thief! Cheat! What has it done for thee? Disgraced thee, and branded thee before the eyes of men. Sinner in secret! Polite sinner! What has it done for thee? Soured thy sweets, and poisoned all thy joys.